Hieros Gamos Alchemy is here to help you work with archetypes. These are universal, recurring character types that appear across cultures and mythologies. They're in old stories and they're in new stories. They're living patterns of energy, shaping how we think, how we feel, how we act, and how we relate. They evolve over time, and our ability to harness their energy can require some self-purification. Integrating the shadow or disowned aspects of each archetype is what evolves us. This frees our energy up to be our best selves, response-able as opposed to reactive. These energies live within all of us. The devotional, service-orientated energy of the lover or poet. The taking, leading, and commanding energy of the king or the queen, what we call the dark masculine archetype. The supportive, nurturing expressions of the maiden, warrior, or cheerleader. This is the light feminine archetype. And then we have the mysterious, magnetizing, witchy or wizardly power of the sorcerer or sorceress, and that's the dark feminine archetype. Every one of these exists inside of you. Why do we sometimes feel blocked in these expressions? Well, it's because of trauma, which is simply information that we received while unprepared, when having an experience we felt intensely enough that it overwhelmed us. And this experience would have been unexpected, felt threatening and out of our control. So we're left with the information in our system waiting for acceptance and to be processed. The shadows, they're disowned aspects of ourselves. Each archetype has a set of gifts, and the shadows that distort the gifts are expressions of ourselves that are cut off from them. When we free our energy from trauma and integrate shadow, we embody these archetypes more fully. We do more than act them out. We live them as truth. All four of the archetypes live within us. They interact, and the way that they relate internally shapes what materializes in our external world. The light masculine in shadow leaks energy, becomes a martyr, overgiving for recognition and safety, selling truth and desire for approval. When they know their worth, setting boundaries and staying devoted to truth is easy, and their energy, it consolidates. This reserve becomes power, ready to be used for creation. At that point, the dark masculine can then take that reserve and build things. In shadow, they may become a tyrant, taking too much from others, or at other extremes, lack the willpower to act. And like a child with a dream, an entitled prince or a princess, they may steal another's blocks or fail to build at all. If their light masculine lacks the code of valuing vision, then they definitely will. But integrated, their benevolence embodied, establishing legacy from inner reserves, building for love and for truth. The light feminine in shadow over-supports others, losing themselves in the process. They may become the perpetual cheerleader for someone else's dream, and they could also be a victim. When integrated, though, they rally their energy and troops with loyalty, courage, and discernment. Like a warrior devoted to love, they willfully take a stand for what matters and ensure that the dream is protected. And then we have the dark feminine. In shadow, they're the saboteur, second-guessing, distrusting their intuition, and demanding reasons until the moment passes. Whilst integrated, they become a magician, a sorceress, seeing patterns in chaos, working within and around the rules, calling forth from nothing and from anything, manifesting from both emptiness and from abundance. And together, these four form a manifestation map. When each is integrated, energy flows smoothly through all channels, light and dark, masculine and feminine. This is supportive of joyful, synchronistic, lasting materialization of change. Each archetype has polarities, light, dark, masculine, feminine, and identifying with only one side locks us into a narrow expression. When we accept all aspects of ourselves, It's at that point that we gain balance. Instead of reacting from old wounds, we respond from presence. Instead of being trapped by identity, we move fluidly across all of our archetypes. When I've believed myself to be only one archetype or insisted on showing up in relationship from just one expression, I became stuck. And this rigidity, it made me reactive or unresponsive, unable to flow with the moment. Reactivity is often the echo of an old story, one that we clung to so tightly that it calcified into identity. And freedom comes when we release that identity attachment. It's then that we can respond from the most compassionate archetypal position available in each moment, with peace, with mindfulness, and also with presence. Responsiveness is presence, coherent and considerate of our environment. With a regulated internal world, the external, it reflects the same ease. To be responsive is to be a walking truth, free from internal friction, co-empowering others, fluid and whole. The goal was never to pick your archetype. The goal is range, to express each archetype fully, and then fluency, to move between them fluidly, free from clinging and resisting. This emotional freedom, this is wholeness. This is the alchemy of archetypes. Some would call the center point of freedom a trickster archetype, others a 0 point, and the void is another term, as is an empty space inside an open channel. If you'd like to discover which archetype you're living with most in shadow, start with our archetypal quiz. And if you're ready to integrate, explore our archetypal transformation programs. Pair these with our natural perfumes to anchor your new states accessed into embodied stages. By following our channel, you can go on a deep dive into shadow work. Begin your archetypal journey today.